Welcome to Learn with Rishi, your go-to channel for improving your English language skills. In today's video, we'll be diving into the fascinating world of direct speech. Direct speech is a crucial aspect of English grammar, allowing us to convey conversations and dialogue more effectively. Now, throughout this video, we'll explore the fundamentals of direct speech, discuss its importance in communication, and provide you with 10 questions to test your understanding. So by the end of this video, you'll have a solid grasp of direct speech and be better equipped to use it confidently in your everyday conversations. So let's dive in and enhance our English skills together with Learn with Rishi. So what is direct speech? Well, direct speech refers to the exact words spoken by a person, usually enclosed with quotation marks. It is used to directly quote what someone said in a conversation, interview, or dialogue. In direct speech, the speaker's words are reproduced verbatim, allowing the reader or listener to understand the exact message conveyed by the speaker. And this form of speech is commonly used in writing, reporting, storytelling, and everyday communication to accurately represent the spoken words of individuals. So as you can see, we've got double quotations and single quotations here. So you can choose which one to use, but don't forget, if you start with a double quotation, you must end with a double quotation. And we also have a fun fact. Did you know that the shortest war in history lasted only 38 minutes? Well, isn't that short? Well, with that being said, let's dive into our set of rules. So here are some simple rules to help you. So the first rule is that direct speech must be enclosed in inverted commas, just as this example. He said, "It's hot in here." So as I mentioned, if you start with a double quotation, you must end with a double quotation. And rule number 2, start a new paragraph whenever you change speakers in a dialogue. So if one person is saying something and then it shifts to another person, you must start a new paragraph. And rule number 3, enclose a comma, a full stop, a question mark, or exclamation mark at the end of the direct speech inside the closing inverted commas or comma. For example, "Do I know you?" So as you can see here, that the question mark is inside of the double quotation or inverted commas. And rule number 4, place a comma before the first inverted comma or commas to introduce the direct speech if the direct speech comes after a named speaker. For example, she said, comma, "I like strawberries." So again, we're placing the comma before the first inverted comma or commas. And rule number 5, if the direct speech is split up by a named speaker, put a comma, question mark, or exclamation mark to end the first part and a full stop or another comma before the inverted comma or commas of the second part. For example, "You're very knowledgeable," he said. So as you can see here, that we've got a comma at the end of the first part. And then we have a full stop or even another comma before the inverted commas of the second part. "It's a pleasure to listen to you," full stop. "Now I come to think of it, comma, he said," and another comma, "I didn't see him yesterday." So I hope you can see the simple rules that will help you to understand direct speech in a bit more detail. Now remember, this does take practice, so don't expect yourself to pick it up in one go. Repetition is key here. And if you wish, please take a screenshot of this. I will take out my annotations, but please do take a screenshot because you will need this for the questions to come. So with that being said, let's go. Which one of the 5 rules given in the introduction has been broken. So once again, if you haven't taken a screenshot, pause the video, go back, take the screenshot, and then press play when you're ready to go. So what do we notice here? Peter said, "I have been to Wales twice this year." So which rule has been broken? Well, if I notice correctly, there should have been a comma before the first inverted commas to introduce the direct speech. And remember, that's only if the direct speech comes after a named speaker. So here's a named speaker and the speech comes after. So in this case, the correct answer is rule 4. It should have been, Peter said, comma, "I have been to Wales twice this year." So as you can see, because the speech goes after the named speaker, we must put in a comma. So rule 4. Over to the next question. "What's the capital of Greece?" he asked. So if you remember, we always must enclose a comma, a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark at the end of the direct speech, but inside the closing inverted commas. So again, it should have been question mark and then our inverted comma. So by looking at your sheet, do you know which rule that was? Well, if you said rule 3, you're absolutely correct. Rule 3 is the correct answer. Okay, moving over to the next question. You're doing really well, so let's keep it up. Which one of the 5 rules given in the introduction has been broken? "Have you ever been to China?" he asked. "No, I haven't," I replied. Any idea as to which rule has been broken? If you chose rule 2, it is absolutely correct. Please remember, with rule 2, you must start a new paragraph whenever you change speakers in a dialogue. So there should definitely be some space between one dialogue and the other. Okay, over to the next one. "I can't come tomorrow," said Jack. So which rule has been broken here? "I can't come tomorrow," said Jack. Well, I hope you've noted that there's no inverted commas anywhere here. So that is rule number 1. There must be inverted commas. And just to make you aware, this inverted comma should be after this comma. Okay, moving to the next one. "If I had known that," she said, "I would have helped him." So again, what have you noticed? There's 2 pieces of dialogue said by the same person. So remember, if the direct speech is split up by a named speaker, we have to put a comma, a question mark, or exclamation mark to end the first part, and then a full stop or another comma before the inverted comma of the second part. So how should it be? Well, we'll put in a comma after that. Remember, the inverted comma goes after the comma. And then we'll have another comma after "she said," as it is within the same statement. So we do not need a full stop here. So again, that is rule number 5. Marvelous. Okay, let's go for the next question. "Yes," he cried. "I've solved it at last." Any ideas? Well, if you spotted it, we definitely need a full stop after "cried." And that there is rule number 5. Remember, a comma, a full stop, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. It totally depends on what the statement is saying and how it is being said. Okay, let's go and move on. "Have you ever seen Paris Hilton?" he asked. Again, what rule has been broken? It starts with C if you haven't thought of it already. And if you thought of comma, It is absolutely it. We need to put in a comma at the beginning and the end. So that is rule 1. And let's move into the next question. Dave said, I love motorcycle racing. So again, what rule has been broken here? We have our named speaker, which is Dave said. So we must put a comma before the first inverted commas. So we can introduce the direct speech after a named speaker. So that's rule number 4. Marvelous. Let's go into the next question here. You're always complaining, he said. You really are ungrateful, Harry. What's the issue here? So again, if you noted rule 5, you are absolutely correct. Because if the direct speech is split up by a named speaker, remember, we must put in a comma, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. So with that being said, we have to put in our comma just after complaining. And remember, again, before the inverted commas for when it closes. Over to the final question. Bullseye, he cried. So what answer will we give here? Well, again, if you've chosen rule number 3, you are absolutely correct. If you remember, rule number 3 stated that we must enclose a comma, full stop, question mark, or exclamation mark at the end of the direct speech inside the closing inverted comma. So again, we must swap these two around with the exclamation mark and the inverted comma. And there we are. This brings us to the end of our direct speech video. Thank you for joining us on this journey to improve your English skills with Learn with Rishi. We hope you found today's video on direct speech informative and engaging. Don't forget to test your knowledge with the 10 questions provided. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and remember, practice makes perfect. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more valuable English language lessons. Until next time, team, keep learning and keep growing with Learn with Rishi.